But anyways, the telemarketing job did not pay enough to live on. It was enough for like the club kid essentials of hair dye, taxi cabs, and drugs money. But there was nothing left over for rent. So I had to get a second job. And I, just a few blocks away from the telemarketing office, there was a theater that advertised live, nude, boys. And, well, I am male, I'm alive, and I know how to become nude. So I went in, and I applied, and was hired. And it was actually a pretty easy job. Basically, you show up about 5 minutes before showtime, and they'd be showing dirty movies, and I go back and change into a scantily, very skimpy outfit that's easily removed. And then the movie would stop, and there'd be an announcement, and here's Alvin for your enjoyment. And the red velvet curtain would rise up, and I'd be on stage in my skimpy outfit, and then I would dance in a lascivious, lewd manner and fling off all my clothes. And, I didn't quite get nude. That was an exaggeration. I was only nude from the socks up. I did have shoes and socks on. And once I was nude from the socks up, I would kind of love myself up a little and then go into the audience and work the gentlemen for tips. And, they would put, mostly dollars, occasionally fives every now and then, 10s or 20s, into my sock. And, of course, in the process of doing that, they would, find a way to sort of cop a feel somewhere. But they were completely forbidden, in the nether regions. So, it was okay. I actually enjoyed this part of the job. It was fine. I'm such a narcissist that it was great. And I would go back up on stage and dance around a little more, love myself up a little more, and then the show would climax, if you catch my drift. And the curtain would come down. And the whole thing took maybe 20, 25 minutes, and then I'd be out the door with a hell of a lot more money than I was making at my telemarketing job. And it left me with plenty of free time to, do all the important club kid things I had to do that evening. The problem really arose when the managers decided that they were not making enough money at the theater, and they instituted something called the boy in a box. And they cleaned out their basement and put in these booths. And the deal was there'd be like, one stripper in a booth, and then there'd be the paying customer in the other booth next to that booth. And then there was a glass partition, and they could somehow feed money into a machine that would turn the glass partition transparent. And they could also talk to us on the telephone and tell us what to do. And the manager said, okay, after every show, you have got to go down into the basement for 1 hour and be a boy in a box. And I was already against it because that's cutting into my club time. I needed to be like getting my makeup on. And the real kicker came when the managers talked to their lawyers and figured out that they could actually get away with this. The men could fondle us provided there was no flesh-on-flesh or skin-on-skin contact. So they installed rubber gloves into the side of the booth. And it was legal. And I think all of the stripper boys went upstairs to the managers and said, we'd prefer not to, except we didn't use cute little Cockney English accents, though. We were probably a little more vulgar than that. And they just said, tough luck, you trash or a dime a dozen. And they're right. I mean, how hard is it to, be a stripper? I think everyone has the job skills, that we had. It's not an exclusive set of job skills. And so then we put up with it. But the thing that really, moved it into a whole nother zone of horror is that these were not sexy black rubber gloves. And I'm not a rubber fetishist, but I understand the concept of sexy black rubber gloves. These were yellow rubber kitchen gloves, as one might buy for $2.99 at Walgreens. And all I can say is that being manhandled by yellow rubber kitchen gloves, it makes you feel like a dirty dish or a greasy pan. And that's not a sexy feeling, that's not a happy feeling, that's a from hell feeling. And I'm happy to say that the fad for fondling boys through yellow rubber kitchen gloves didn't catch on, and the whole thing was packed in a few weeks later. But during that time, I think I can honestly say I had the day job from hell. Thank you.